Glenn Frankel, the director of the University of Texas School of Journalism, came to UT after serving as a foreign correspondent for the Washington Post. In 1989, he won a Pulitzer Prize for his reporting surrounding the tribal conflicts at work in the first Palestinian uprising in the Middle East. New here at 6, KXAN's Jim Swift tells us Frankel has a new book. It covers a tribal subject much closer to home, the story of how a little Texas girl came to embody the legend of the American West and of the great American movie that helped make that happen.
Director John Ford's 1956 film, The Searchers, gets to the gut of the mythology surrounding Texas history.
Well, I could mistake you for a half-breed.
Not quite. I'm 8th Cherokee. The rest is Welsh and English.
When a Comanche raid kills a settler family, a little girl is abducted by the Indians, and the survivors, the searchers, embark on a years-long effort to find her. The story is just one of the treatments given over the years to the true story of Cynthia Ann Parker, who suffered a similar fate in 1836, only to be recaptured and returned to her family nearly a quarter of a century later.
People think of her as another great Texas, woman, tough, hardy, all that. And she was all that, I suppose. But she also was the ultimate victim of the Texas Comanche Wars. Twice she was abducted. Twice she watched the people she loved around her being killed by strangers. And twice she was hauled off by men who she thought was going to kill her as well.
But when Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Glenn Frankel decided to probe the Cynthia Ann Parker story and John Ford's treatment of it, he discovered a complex psychological film.
Come on, blanket head.
Starring an in-his-prime John Wayne character, deeply flawed by Indian-hating racism.
There's affection there. He's capable of affection, but he's also capable of almost psychopathic hatred. And those forces are warring in him, and the beauty of John Wayne's performance is you can see it.
Stand aside, Martin.
He's planning to do an honor killing of this little girl because she's grown up and become a Comanche wife, and she has had sex with Indians, whether voluntarily or not. So yes, he's driven by all that, but we're not sure what he's going to do. And we find out in the end that the forces of love, if you will, that have somehow worked even on this dark character to the point where he can't do the thing that he's set out to or that he thinks he wants to do. He has to surrender to that, and he does.
And yet there is a terrible price to pay. Wayne's character helps open the door to civilization in the West, but marooned in the past, he is unable to go through that door himself.
It's not simple, and that's why it's a work of art.
Jim Swift, KXAN News.
Frankel's book is called The Searchers, The Making of an American Legend. He'll appear at the book signing event at Book People next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock in Austin. And we'll show you how you can get there through a link with this story in the Austin headline section at our website, kxan.com.